What's up, guys? Welcome back to another What If. What if Deku was the Flash? Redo Part 1. So let's begin our What If. So, we start off with Izuku Midoriya, just a normal kid from Japan. His two parents are both scientists, very hardworking, and their project is to make basically this new type of dark matter. And it will only work if lightning erupts on it. But they've been trying so many years, but it kind of failed. But they will still try. Deku's around, if I say, 7 years old. So we follow from Deku just in his room playing a video game on his console. Then from nowhere his mom opens the door and she says, "Honey, it's time to go sleep. Tomorrow's school and your friend Bakugo would want to play with you." And Deku's like, "Mom, do I really need to sleep at 8 o'clock? And Inko is like, "Honey, please." And Deku says, "Okay, Mom." Deku puts on his PJs and he goes to sleep. We follow from 3 hours later. We follow from Inko and Hasashi just drinking wine and beer. And they're just watching TV downstairs. And then, out of nowhere, we see this red light and yellow light. And kind of these boosters just flash out of nowhere into the house. Inko screaming, "Izuku, where are you?" Hasashi's like, "Inko, stay there, I'll get Izuku." And they just get separated apart by the wind pressure. And from nowhere, Inko sees kind of this older version of her son. And then from nowhere, we see this yellow guy with a knife stab Inko in the freaking heart, and then grabs her heart and yanks it out of her body, pulling out every vein. And Hasashi, just still frozen in time, the lightning that was surrounding them left, and from nowhere Hasashi just runs to the window, checking what was that lightning, and he sees both of the lightning go into this basically wormhole, and it closes, but we only see lightning sparks just around the area. Hasashi looks on his left, seeing his dead wife. Izuku wakes up in a panic attack, saying, "What the heck was that? Was that another earthquake? Is my mom and dad okay?" Deku runs downstairs. The first thing he sees is police surrounding a dead body. And the dead body's got a blanket over the head. Deku's like, Dad, where are you?" He looks out the window and he sees his dad getting arrested. And then the policeman says, "Kid, do you live here?" And Deku says, "Yeah, but I don't know who's that dead body." And then the policeman says, "I'm sorry, kid. It's your mom. She's finally passed away from your dad killing her. I'm sorry. This may seem strange. I know it's been a hard night for you." Deku suddenly cries when he first heard his mom. Cries that she has died and he will never see her properly, saying, "I love you, good night," ever again. And then the man's like, "So, kid, would you wanna live with me? I've got a apartment, and Deku's like, I'm not sure about that. It's just a lot to take in. And then we follow from a few months later. Deku is in foster care. And the same detective guy comes and he adopts Deku. And I forgot his name, so I'ma search it up. Guys, we just have to call him detective. I couldn't find it. I spent 1 hour looking, but I couldn't find it, so sorry, we'll just call him detective. So the detective raises Deku. And then one day, Deku is feeling that he wants to go to his parents' lab just to see what they were actually finishing for their final project. Because he knew that they worked on it for the past 12 years. Mostly Deku's age, and Deku wants to finish their project by himself, having his family behind him, even though they're in heaven, looking down on him, protecting him. Then, we follow from Deku, just a few months, working on the dark matter project. Deku, he's incredibly smart, having the same genetics as his parents. Then from nowhere, lightning strikes as it's got kind of a magnetic field with the dark energy. Strikes onto Deku. Deku hits chemicals, and the chemicals absorb into Deku's body. And there it is. The speed force lies into Deku. Deku wakes up gasping. Where am I? Deku looks around him and he sees that he's in a place called Star Labs. And he's looking around and he's like, whoa, how did I get here? Is this a hospital bed? Deku, from nowhere, speeds to the other side of the room. And he's like, what the? I have a quirk. I'm not quirkless anymore. And then we follow from this guy called Cisco Ramon. And he's like, hey, who allowed the subject to get out from the project? And then Caitlin's like, I don't know. And then Elon's like, who did it? And Deku's like, I'm a project. Deku bolts out of nowhere, phases through a couple of buildings, and he hits a ground. And he's naked. And he's like, that hurt. That hurt right in the arm. That really hurt. And everybody looks at this naked guy and he's like, what the? Zoom. Deku starts running out of shame. He realizes in the Pacific Ocean. And then Deku obviously, loses his balance. And he trips into the water. Freezing cold water. And then, from nowhere, he bolts again to Mexico. And he's like, what the? Then Deku takes some spare clothes that he found. And he puts them on. And Deku's like, what's going on with me? Then from nowhere, we see this jet. And they shoot this sniper on Deku. And Deku faints. 5 hours later, Deku's back at Star Labs. Deku wakes up and he's like, I'm not moving. Don't move or you go super fast and you go somewhere else in the world. Then he looks at these scientists doing experiments on him. And they try hit him, but he's just regenerating so quick that they can't even see it. And everything's just going in slow motion to Deku. Reality is very slow and very still. Nothing's moving in his speed. Not even Ingenium could move into Deku's speed. Deku is moving in light speed. And then we follow from 2 years later. Deku, he's a normal kid with just special powers. He hasn't used them. He's got this basically necklace that makes him not really use his meta-human powers. It restrained him because you know how using your quirk is kind of illegal if you're not a hero. And then we follow from Deku, just going grocery shopping until he hears gunshots. And Deku's like, maybe another hero like All Might or Endeavor could go and save the hostages or something. And Deku doesn't hear no hero. He only hears screaming civilians, and they're like, help, 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 there's a bank robbery! And Deku's like, where are the heroes? And the people are like, there's no heroes! Some heroes are dead! What's going on? And then we follow from this kid saying, where's my mommy? And Deku's like, what the? I should kind of run away out of this crowd. Deku starts running away. Then he gets flashbacks from his mom. Then from nowhere, electricity scattered around Deku's eyes. Deku, out of nowhere, removes the necklace, zooms into the bank, starts punching all the robbers in light speed. And then from nowhere, we see all the hostages shocked at this fast, quick lightning just take all the people out. And Deku's like, is everybody okay? And we just see Deku with burnt up clothes. And he's like, everybody stay here. Just tell me, where is the leader of the group? And one person's like, he went down to get the gold. Deku zooms there in 0.1 seconds. And he's like, hey, I'm telling you right now, drop the money. And the guy's like, who are you? I'm Captain Cold. You probably never heard of me. I'm a low-class villain, but this has to be one of the greatest heists of all history. And I'm not gonna allow a 13-year-old kid beat me. Deku is like, so you're gonna say that to me, the fastest person alive? He's been hiding their powers for the past 2 years. That's cool. I've actually been training my powers, meaning I kind of got the gist of it. But I'm not that professional of it. I don't even know how to run super fast. I don't have the right clothes to run. But there's one thing I do know. How to beat you up and send you to prison. For life. No, you aim that gun at me. I think they will even give you life sentence. Come on, hit me. Captain Cold, shoots an ice Glock at Deku. Deku obviously dodges, and he's like, too slow. Captain Cold does another one, and Deku obviously dodges, and he says, another too slow. Like, what's going on? Have you ever actually played American football? Netball? Basketball? It seems like you don't know. And then Deku's like, I actually want to do this. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, snowball fight. Deku from nowhere starts throwing all the snowballs that Captain Cold has just shot at Deku, and he's like, ooh, stings, doesn't it? Captain Cold's like, what? Henchmen, come here now! The henchmen are like, hey boss, we're here. They come with guns and they start shooting at Deku. Deku, obviously dodging all the bullets, And Deku starts repeatedly punching one in the stomach, uppercuts him, slide tackles another one, does a freaking backflip, kicking the dude through a wall. Then the guy has this kind of kendo quirk, and he stretches his hand covering Deku. Deku's like, you realize I can phase. Deku phases through the guy's hands, and he throws lightning at the dude. The dude's clothes get burnt up into ash. The guy is half naked. Deku is like, is that all you got? Captain Cold obviously running with the money, and he's exiting the bank. And he starts freezing multiple different civilians that are just walking around, and also some that are running out of the building. And Captain Cold sees a car, and he's like, get out of the car! Get out of the car right now! Or I'll shoot you! He takes the car, and he zooms out in like 200 miles per hour, and he's going crazy. Deku's like, he really thinks a car is light speed. That car is less than sound. Deku zooms in front of the car, and he's like, hey, I think you've left your car ticket. Then Deku punches the wheel. The car spins. It starts doing wheelies, and then it starts getting crashed by going up and down, up and down. And then Deku's like, that guy can die in 1 second if I don't let him come out of the car. Might as well save him. Deku catches the dude and rips him out of the car. And he's like, hey, I think you're going to jail today. I think you're better, so I might as well make you hold on to my necklace. And he just basically bends the necklace using all his super strength together. And he locks Captain Cold with them. And he's like, that's better. Now, you, my friend, can sit down and wait till the police. And Captain Cold's like, who are you? And Deku's like, that's a story for another day. Kind of a little bit thirsty. Then, from nowhere, the police come. Last minute, like any movie, and they're like, hey, what happened? What happened? The people are like, oh my gosh, there was this guy with supersonic speed, and he took out that thug and all the other ones. And the police are like, a vigilante. Then we obviously know that the detective is that guy who's saying it, a vigilante. Everybody send all choppers around the whole city to take that guy. Yes, the detective does not know about Deku's strange superpowers. And he didn't know that Deku got struck by lightning. He only knew that Deku got hit by a car and he recovered, but he didn't see Deku because of the injuries. Star Labs did lie, but they honestly just wanted to do experiments just for themselves. And Deku has just been training by himself. Star Labs thought Deku was just a powerless person, but they did give him a metahuman thing because they found that he's also a metahuman, a part of quirks, but not really quirks. But Deku, he's now at home, and he's like, oh shoot, my clothes, they're burnt up. I might as well just go upstairs and wear some normal clothes. Deku wears this, obviously, the OG Star Labs uniform, and he starts watching TV. Then, as he's watching a program or anything, the news interrupts, and they're like, breaking news, a vigilante. People calling him the Flash, the fastest person in the world, saved civilians, several of them. But if he wasn't there, around 100 people could have died. But only 0 people died. Thank you, Flash. If you're watching this, Japan loves you. Deku's like, they love me. Oh, good thing I'm never coming back on the screen ever again. Because I just want to become a normal kid. And these powers really do stress me out. And then Deku, he's like, wait a minute. He gets the remote and he rewinds the part where he's kind of running around trying to catch the car. And Deku has this purple, yellow, red, and green lightning surrounding him always, every time. And then he sees a yellow. And he's like, hold on, I don't have yellow lightning. That's too bright. I've got kind of an orange and yellow, but they're much more darker. That one, that's bright. And it's got red eyes. And its hair is kind of pointy. You think it's a blue head guy. Wait a minute. My dad, he told me about the story, about what he saw. He saw a guy in a yellow suit with red eyes. And just lightning. Wait a minute. Does this mean my powers were kind of gifted by him? No. Deku's just speculating different things of what happened to his mom that night. And Deku was panicking like, what if that guy gave me my powers? Maybe I was meant to have these powers to destroy him. Meaning that guy is still alive. Meaning he's following me and he knows that I'm alive and he wants to kill me. Unless he's craving for my powers. It seems that he's very fast and more experienced. Wait a minute. Is that boots? No. Is that engine boots on his legs? At his shins? Who is that guy? Guy's weird. Then we hear the doorbell ring. We follow from this guy with blue hair. Kind of the guy from the TV, but younger. And he's like, hey, I'm 10-year Ida, and I am your next door neighbor. Don't mind us if we're just, renovating our place, but hey, here's some cookies. Me and my mom, we made it. And yes, I am the brother of Ingenium and part of the 10-year family. It's alright to get jealous, but I hope we can be friends and maybe study together. And Deku's like, cool, I do like studying, but hey, you kind of like you, man. You look like a good guy. Maybe we actually could be friends. Then Ida shuts the door and yeah. And that's where we're gonna leave it off for What If Deku Was The Flash Part 1. The redo. So let's begin. No, let's finish our What If.